Hello students, in this presentation we'll go over the assignment Assessment and Parent Communication. The assignment is about demonstrating your ability to categorize assessments, disaggregate student data, and communicate the results to parents. Here we go. As you work on this assignment, please keep in mind that you'll be covering the FEAPs associated with it. These are: the teacher candidate will utilize current and emerging assistive technologies to enable students to participate in high-quality communication interactions and achieve their educational goals. The teacher candidate will share the importance and outcomes of student assessment data with the student and student's parent or caregiver. The teacher candidate will apply technology to organize and integrate assessment information. And the teacher candidate will determine and apply the appropriate use and maintenance of students' information and records. The product of this assignment is a 3-part paper. To prepare for this assignment, download the Assessment and Parent Communication template. Since the first week of class, you've been asked to keep a running record of all the assessments you've observed in your field experience or classroom if you're a current teacher. For part 1 of this assignment, you will complete a table that demonstrates your knowledge of assessment classification. Using the template provided, please do the following. In column 1, list at least 4 assessments from the classroom. Be specific, don't just put science test. Use the wording of the standards. Science test on phases of matter, for example. In column 2, classify each assessment by identifying 3 things: whether it's a norm referenced or a criterion referenced test, whether it's a diagnostic, a formative, or summative, and how was that assessment created? In other words, was it created from a textbook, was it teacher-made, or is it a standardized test from the state or district? In column 3, describe how the assessment was graded. Did the teacher grade on points or percentages? Did he or she use letter grades or symbols? Think kindergarten or first grade for the symbols. In the 4th column, document how the assessment results are communicated to parents. Do they look in gradebook or skyward? Is it sent home in a folder or is it viewed in the portal? In column 5, write about how you know about this assessment. Did you observe it being given in the field? Did you talk about it with your host teacher? Or is it an assessment that you yourself gave? In the 6th and final column, please document the accommodations provided for students with disabilities or English language learners. If there are no accommodations provided for an assessment, please explain why. Directly after the assessment table, you'll see that there are 7 assessment terms to define. Please use your textbook or another reliable source to write out the definition. Remember to document your resources, course textbook included, in the reference list at the end of the paper. In the next part of the paper, you're going to use the terms you defined above and write brief emails to parents explaining the results. There are 3 example emails already provided for you. Just fill in the blanks with fake results and explain those results to parents. Each explanation should be several sentences. So that means where you see a blank, that should be either the fake test score or the explanation. Remember, this may be the first time a parent has ever heard of this type of assessment, so make sure that your explanations are thorough. In part 2 of this assignment, you'll be disaggregating data sets. By using the data set provided in the course shell, you will analyze it in order to group students in a way that will drive your instruction, provide remediation, and acceleration. Start by analyzing the data set. What trends do you see? What outliers do you see? Are there problems with the assessments themselves, or did the students simply not understand the instruction? And I'll give you a hint. There's at least one assessment that is potentially neither valid nor reliable. After reviewing the data set, answer the questions. What trends do you notice in the data set? Give examples of trends in the standards, trends in the groups of students in each achievement level, and trends in the formative assessments. Be specific with the student names. Who are the outliers? Don't just say there are a few students who are outliers, list them by name. For example, Amy or Alicia. Are there any assessments that are not valid or reliable? Also list the assessments by name. You can see that it says assessment Formative Assessment 3 or Standard 1. If you were to, question number 2, how would you design remediation groups and acceleration groups, and what would you focus on? Please use specific student data from the dataset to explain your analysis. In other words, which one of these students would you group together for a remediation group? Which one of these students would you group together for an acceleration group? List the students' names for each group and justify why you sorted them that way. In question 3, if you were to implement a review activity prior to a summative assessment and wanted to strategically group students from the dataset, how would you group them? And what's an example of a review activity that you could do specific to a content area? So think math or science or language arts. In other words, how would you differentiate your instruction based on the data and the standards that you have to teach? Please use specific standards and please use the student names in the data set to answer your question. Here are 2 sample assessment and parent communication submissions. Notice how the answers to the questions are thorough. Also, please don't copy and paste the example table from the syllabus and turn that in as your own work. A student once did that and didn't think that I would notice. He earned an F on his paper and had to resubmit, so please don't do that. This assignment will be submitted in the assignments portion of the Falcon Online course shell. Please take a moment to review the directions in the syllabus as well as the rubric for the assignment. Ask yourself, did I cover all the parts of this assignment? Is each part labeled clearly? Did I include the APA formatted title page and reference page? If so, I think you're ready to submit. In closing, thank you for learning how to complete the assignment, Assessment and Parent Communication. This assignment is a good demonstration of your knowledge about data analysis and communicating effectively to parents. Pretty soon, you'll not only be using data to drive your instruction, you'll be leading others in the data walks.